I've got some blueberries here.
All right.
Porky Pig, bitch. I don't know.
So is that the official intro?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Porky Pig, bitch.
Welcome to Strange Old Men, a Strange Old Cave, where we're obviously very confused about whether the intro is actually said or not. I'm Tommy Hale, and I'm with Harrison Smith.
And I'm Porky Pig, bitch.
Not sure exactly where that's supposed to come from, but
Mm-hmm.
did you just make that?
It's from YouTube. No, it's from YouTube Haiku.
Oh, I'll have to watch that later then.
It's pretty funny.
It's a little more vulgar than usual, but whatever.
Uh-huh. Are we gonna bleep?
Probably not.
All right.
You know I don't put that much effort.
That's true.
I don't know, and I feel like this is a chill place.
Mm-hmm.
So
We're not uptight.
yeah, we only have half a stick up our butts.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are we gonna talk about today, Tommy?
I'm eating a Pop-Tart at the moment.
I'm eating some blueberries.
But that's not what we're going to talk about. Before we get into your story, Harrison has a pretty funny story. And I thought it'd be fun to talk on the podcast here. I actually want to kind of talk about just a little bit about the release of AMD's new lineup of processors. So, basically, I'm a huge computer nerd. I love all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And AMD recently released their new line of processors, the Ryzen lineup. And so why that's really significant is that the past, their past processors that they've come out with haven't really competed very well with Intel. So right now, Intel, or at least before Ryzen has come out, Intel if you wanted to get a really good processor, and budget wasn't that much of an issue, then chances are you would buy an Intel processor. Like Harrison, you and I are actually running the same processor.
Are we? Oh yeah,
we're both running i5 46.
i5 4770.
No, 4670. The 47.
I'm running 4770.
The 4770. That's an i7.
Damn, I'm wrong.
I know this, Harrison. Heck, I helped you build that computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, man, we're a little bit behind, but I don't know. These guys, they kick butt. But chances are you would go and buy an Intel processor because they were just that much better. Even their quad cores were kind of better than their AMD's 6-core processors with the bulldozer architecture because it just wasn't very good. Their performance per core was not good compared to Intel's. It was just not as much. I mean, granted, obviously, you didn't pay as much. You'd probably pay $100.
Yeah,
it was probably $140 for an AMD 8-core, which if that's what you wanted to do, and depending on what kind of workload you were going for, that's fine. But I mean, if you have more money, chances are you'd probably go and get a higher end Intel chip or whatever, maybe something with hyper-threading. But now, with AMD's new line of processors, Ryzen, all of the processors, I believe, not all of them are hyper-threaded, but I think they're top tier. I want to say all of them are hyper-threaded, but I don't, I'm forgetting now, but, I think their top-of-the-line CPU is 8-core with 16 threads, and that's not normal for an AMD processor because they haven't had hyper-threading until now. and it's supposed to, and like it's comparing benchmarks to, I think, the Intel i7 6800K. That is a $1,000 processor,
Mm-hmm.
and the like flagship Ryzen processor outperforms it, and it only costs $500. So for
Mm-hmm.
half the price, you get more performance, and you see that it's very similar in for that whole kind of line of processors. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my little spiel. I'm very excited. However, I'm not going to go out and buy a new motherboard and processor.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably also have to buy more RAM or new RAM because it supports DDR4 as well. And I don't have DDR4. I'm still running DDR3. But whenever I need to upgrade, I know that AMD is finally competing with Intel now. Like they're finally kind of a more worthy competitor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my little spiel on that. Super hyped. I can't wait for more benchmarks and whatnot to happen, and very excited for um,
You're
just
gonna get
competition.
your yeah, you know,
Yeah, very excited
some new
because
stuff, new stuff.
yeah. So AMD is doing pretty well. Like a while ago, their stock price, like their stock went up, so that was pretty good.
All right, well, good for them.
Mm-hmm. And
Good for
Intel,
them, I guess.
and it's kind of funny. Like apparently a lot like with Intel's latest line of processors, the like Kaby Lake or whatever, it was
Mm-hmm.
almost no different than the Skylake stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they pretty much just they like almost re-released the same line of processors,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think there was pretty much no performance gain in games. So
Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. Like, it's pretty much the same processor.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's not. It performs like exactly the same, so there's like no point in buying it really.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe there is. So I mean, I haven't done a whole lot of research. So take that with a grain of salt, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and go and do your research.
Okay.
So that's enough of the computer stuff for the moment. Harrison has one heck of a story to tell. So go tell us your story, Harrison.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, gather round. I I this weekend, 4-day weekend, President's Day weekend, I partook in a special cadet programs activity, state activity. I went to Cadet Programs Conference, which is part of a Civil Air Patrol event, where cadets go and they take classes. Cool. It was pretty boring though. I didn't think it was great. I just hiccuped.
Rep.
Now, the first day I was there, or the second day, I don't quite remember. I think it was the second day at General Assemblies, which is like a big meeting in the morning, a big like presentation in the morning. At General Assemblies, I was sitting on the end of an aisle, like I was sitting on the edge of an aisle, and I look around me, and basically right then, another cadet was listening to music, and he had no ranks on his collar, and I had my cadet sergeant rank, so my cadet staff sergeant rank on my collar. So he was the lowest of the low, and I was not much higher than him, but still higher.
Yeah.
And in some position of authority, because I'm the first sergeant of my squadron, which doesn't really make a difference there, but it's still, I don't know. Anyway, while we were there, I basically whispered and motioned him, take it out, like, because at the current moment, the vice national commander who is Brigadier General Larry Myrick, was speaking. He was giving a speech, and I thought it was a pretty good speech. But this cadet was on his phone listening to music, and I basically told him, I was like, take it out, and I basically motioned for him to take the headphone out, and he just said, no, I'm a master sergeant, I'm a higher rank than you. When he was wearing no ranks on his collar, so
he was trying to fool you.
He was trying to bamboozle me. He basically said, like, I forgot my ranks.
And
if you're
granted, mistakes happen. So sorry to kind of interrupt, but
no, don't yeah.
Like mistakes happen, but you think that someone of that rank wouldn't really forget that?
Yeah, you think if you're dumb if you do that. Now, while I was there, after a while he did take it out. And cut to a couple hours later, after I had several classes, I was walking to lunch. And as I was walking to the mess hall, we passed each other and we made some eye contact. And he said, "You have something to say, Sergeant?" And I said, I don't really remember what I said, but I think it was like, well, you shouldn't listen to music. If you're a master sergeant, you should know to be a good example to other cadets and not listen to music during, while someone's talking. While not just somebody, but the second most important officer of Civil Air Patrol is talking.
Mm-hmm.
The Vice National Commander, while he was talking.
Even if it was another cadet, he should still listen, because it's just being respectful.
And also, being a master sergeant, you should know that you should be a good example and lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, lead by example. That's the correct way to lead. Anyway, he basically kind of said, well, I'm the first sergeant of my squadron. I drill like 18 cadets, and I am, I'm a fine leader. And I just basically said, well, if you're the first sergeant of your squadron, you should know that, you have to lead by example, and that you shouldn't do that. You should be a good example to other cadets, basically.
You should not be stupid.
Yeah, you shouldn't be dumb. And he basically was like, ah! And, I basically walk away. Because this guy, pardon my French, but he was being a dumbass.
Yeah.
And, oh, sorry, continue.
Oh, no, I was just saying, agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so, kind of to the viewers, sorry if you hear, like, weird crinkling noises. I have a packet of Pop-Tarts on my desk, and I'm eating them because I'm the epitome of health. But continue.
Mm-hmm. Now, basically what he did, so I was at another class later in the day. I believe it was how to design model rockets with CAD software class, which was kind of interesting. I was there, and there was a cadet staff member who was also a staff sergeant, talking with a senior member, and they were talking about a problematic cadet, and the senior member was wondering, like, does this guy, like, is he autistic or something? What's his deal? And the cadet staff member was like, I don't know, sir. He's just a problem. And we've been having problems with him. During this, and I basically turned to them and I was like, wait, are you guys talking about Cadet Collins? And both of them said, yeah, we are. And I was like, well, I just had this, he was listening to music during General Myrick's speech, and I told him to take it out, and they basically acknowledged that they had been having problems with him too. So this dude was being a dick.
Mm-mm.
Now during cut to several hours later. Um, my friend and I are standing in line. We went as platonic dates. We just went as platonic companions to the dance, because there's a dance at the end of CPC.
Yeah.
So we went as platonic, friends
Oh
to.
no, we gotta solve this problem. But also, the dance is tomorrow.
Oh no, Johnny Hitler!
Heil.
Uh, um,
That's, so just a quick explanation of that little reference. It's
mhm,
from this show called Danger 5. Look it up on Netflix.
mhm.
It's specifically season 2, but you should watch all of it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. But continue.
Um, so the cut to a couple hours later. Um, we are, uh, we're standing in line waiting to go into this to go in, and I heard some girls talking about this cadet that had stolen a master sergeant's rank to try to ask out girls. Um, and I was like, wait, are you guys talking about Cadet Collins? And they were just like, yeah, he stole a master sergeant's rank to try to ask out girls. And I was like, wait, seriously? So not only was Cadet Collins a bad example of a leader, a bad example of a cadet, and a dick, he was a thief. And he had stolen another, I assume, perfectly honest cadet's ranks to try to ask out girls to the dance. To try to ask out female cadets to the dance. Which is just, that's ridiculous to me.
Because they won't let you have any interaction with the local girls, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we aren't allowed to go off base, so we couldn't exactly, go out to the local girls.
Stop being a GI, man.
Shut up, Tommy. uh, now,
Continue.
the story was basically that Cadet Collins had stolen this Master Sergeant's insignia and had asked out like 8 girls. All of them but one had turned him down. And when she found out that he had stolen the Master Sergeant insignia, she went with another guy. Which I absolutely good for her. He was being a dick and she
She's a
stood him
strong,
up.
independent woman. She don't need
Yeah,
no man.
she don't need. Well, I mean, she did go with another guy, but it's basically the girls kind of have to go with a guy, which I think is kind of weird.
So they
you know,
wait. So in order to get in, they have to have like a
No.
date or whatever.
You don't have to have a date, but pretty much all of the girls have a date.
Well, I can understand why.
It's kind of rare because there's significantly more male cadets than there are female. So getting a date is not only difficult, but the girls pretty much have to go with a guy. They don't, girls can go with girls and guys can go with guys, which I think is cool. But it's really frowned upon for girls to go with girls because it's basically depriving of two guys to go with a girl.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess it's just kind of what people do. You go to a dance. Oh, it's always nice to go with someone. So
Yeah, just doesn't matter if they're same gender. Just go with them. Have a boogie partner.
but I can understand the somewhat being frowned upon a little bit because it's
Yeah, no, I
there's
understand.
more. It's like, oh, come on, give the poor guy a chance.
Yeah.
He's gonna go off to war soon.
he's going to Germany.
He's going to the Pacific.
Oh, I'm so sorry then. That's so much worse.
I mean, unless we're talking Omaha Beach, then that was
Yeah.
that was bad.
Yeah.
Insert frickin' intro scene to Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan, yeah.
Which is a fantastic movie. I I seriously love that movie. It was so.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Very sad, but so good.
Great movie.
So continue.
Now.
So you're at the dance. You're
that's pretty much all that happened at the dance concerning Cadet Collins. Cut to the next day. We're all getting ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
We're all packing up all our stuff. We're cleaning up the barracks. We we're cleaning things up. We're
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to leave. We're packing our stuff, loading the cars. Now I see Cadet Collins walking around. He's wearing like sweats, some slip-on shoes. I mean, some like mandals, and like a soccer jersey.
Wait, is he wearing socks with those mandals?
No, he was just wearing mandals.
Oh man, if he was wearing
Uh,
socks, that would like knee high Nike socks that are like neon
oh,
blue.
ugh. Stop grossing me out. That's
Darn,
disgusting.
this is what it should have been though.
Yeah. Now, and I know that I spent a long I know that I spent a long time about, I basically, I know that I kind of ranted on him for being a bad example of a master sergeant, even though at the time I didn't know that he wasn't a master sergeant. Now, and I know this is not a good example that I set, but I just really had to get, I really had to mess with this guy. So, me and a couple other cadets for my squadron are like, all right, we're gonna carpet bomb this guy with bitches. Basically, we walked by him several times and just, kind of mumbled bitch to him as we walked by. We were kind of dicks to this guy. We were absolutely dicks to this guy, but he deserved it. At least I think he did.
All right.
Now, the best part was on our last run, we actually stopped and started, saying like, "Hey, where your master sergeant ranks, airman? I thought you were a master sergeant." And by this time, I'm sure that he had realized, given that we were making reference to him being an airman, that he had surely realized that we knew that he had stolen the ranks. He knew that we knew. And
The good old I know you know.
yep, it was glorious what he said next. He said,
You won't believe what he said next.
exactly. He was so embarrassed, and he tried to say in the most, collected way he could, guys, we're trying to get loaded up here. Why don't we discuss this later? Oh, I'm so satisfied.
You're just like, oh, you taste that? You taste that salt?
It's your own medicine flavored. He was just a dick.
Oh, it didn't. I think I recall you saying something, telling me the story earlier about like, you asked like this person, like this senior officer or whatever, and she like confirmed that he wasn't.
Yes, yeah. As we were giving him crap for it, this staff member walked by. I'm pretty sure she was a sergeant. She walked by and she said, "He's an airman," and I was just like, "Yes, I knew it." So basically, it was confirmed that he had stolen this dude's ranks, and it was just glorious. It was glorious. It's a great moment.
So that's the tragedy of
Darth
Cadet
Plagueis.
Cadet Collins, the jerk face.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Although I guess it's not so much a tragedy for him, I guess, because he was being a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
But that is just the saltiest thing ever. Like we can discuss this later. I have to pack up. It's like,
Yeah, he was trying to save face.
it's like I see right through that. Why? Because all I see is a giant block of salt. Was he sagging those sweatpants?
No, he was just wearing them.
Darn. Cause, I
He
mean,
was just
it would have completed the image if he was like sagging the sweatpants
Mm-hmm.
and wearing like knee-high Nike socks or whatever.
It was pretty great.
So he got pooped on.
He done got pooped on.
Yeah. What kind of music do you think he was listening to?
I don't know.
I don't understand people who like they're in a giant assembly or whatever, and they're just like not, and they just like decide to start listening to music. I don't understand how people can just be that disrespectful. That's really lame.
Yeah, especially like I can understand it when it's just other cadets talking, but it's pretty unacceptable when the national commander or the vice national commander is speaking. Like, this is a guy who is the second in command of the entire organization nationally. Like, he's the second most important guy in the whole organization, and you're just listen to music.
Yeah, that's really lame.
Mm-hmm. It was pretty memey. Anyway, that's my story.
Well, I thought it was kind of an interesting story.
Yeah.
So what else happened over that whole 4-day weekend?
Well, I when I started high school, I wanted to be an engineering major. I wanted to do engineering, and when junior year rolled around, I think I was like, all right, I want to do anthropology. I don't want to do engineering. I want to do anthropology. So I changed my major to humanities to better get into anthropology, and then during CPC, I took a class called "So You Want to Be an Engineer," and it was taught by an Air Force captain who was an engineer in the Air Force. He had worked on the F-35.
Oh wow!
He was just a really interesting guy. He was a gamer, so he made references to Firefly, which is a show that Tommy and I both love. He made references to
beautiful.
Yeah, he made references to Assassin's Creed, which Tommy really loves. He was just a cool guy. Captain Martin. He was a really neat guy. He also basically gave us the actual rundown on what being an engineer was really like. And I was like, man, that sounds awesome. Basically, you come out of college making $100,000 a year if you're a good engineer.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't know this, but engineering firms will pay for your master's degree.
Dude.
Like, if I get a job at an engineering firm right out of college, and I want to get a master's degree to further my education and become a better engineer, my firm will pay for it.
That's really cool.
I know. I didn't know that before. And now, because I don't know, excuse me, I always thought that it would be really neat to go to college basically forever. Like, to just keep going to college until I die, because, to just learn stuff. Learning for free is pretty badass. It's pretty great.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, as someone who doesn't fully enjoy school, I like would not. I mean, you learn. I feel like you learn stuff all the time, every day, no matter whether you're in school or not. You can still learn. But going to school in like a school setting, I mean, maybe I think it might. I'd probably have a different opinion if I like didn't have to do any homework.
Mm-hmm.
But like going to school for the rest of my life, I'd feel like I wouldn't enjoy that because I feel like it would take too much time away from other things like a job or hobbies or like I don't know, like if I'm like 80-year-old grandpa, possibly great grandpa. I said possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And then great grandson Tommy the 7th or whatever. It's like, Grandpa, why do you still go to school? I don't really know. Junior.
Because I like to learn.
I like to learn, but also this guy named Harrison, he made me do it.
He has a gun right now. He's pointing it at me.
Don't you see him? He's hiding in the closet with a Superman suit.
Mm-hmm.
While completing his engineering homework. He's also 80 years old. And he's an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
/ archaeologist /
man with the world's largest penis.
So you don't open that closet because he might have a hole cut out in that Superman suit.
Oh boy.
And you know what that hole is for? His mouth and nose, so he can breathe.
Because I wouldn't be able to breathe.
There's also a little flap for his butt.
So I can poop easily.
Yeah. But like it's crazy like how much uh engineers make and nurses.
Yeah,
Nurses make a
wait,
lot.
nurses make a lot of money?
No, they're it's in the bulk. It's like with the 100,000 a year.
I did not know that.
They do. Someone I know who recently just like finished her schooling to become a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, her income pretty much like quadrupled.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. It's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, but I mean, the kind of downside is the fact that um, you work long hours, and they could also be somewhat odd hours. Because I know
Yeah.
another person I know who also works at the same hospital. Um, he has very strange, like, I guess, unorthodox hours. Um, so he has a kind of a weird schedule. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it works for him, and he makes it work, and he has a beard. He looks like a Viking, so he's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Will,
Yeah,
the coolest dude.
yeah, Will's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. What else did you do after kind of going on that tangent about making jobs and me being a great grandfather?
I don't know. I took okay, so something that really pissed me off was there was a class called Mark, which I thought, okay, so it was advertised as a model rocketry class. So I was like, all right, I think this class is going to be boring as hell because I'm not very interested in model rocketry, but at least it's an aerospace class.
Yeah.
At least I can learn some stuff about rocketry. When I actually took the class, I was so wrong. It was not an engineering class. It was not a model rocketry class, excuse me. It was a class plugging a. So there's in Civil Air Patrol, there's a special class of activity called National Cadet Special Activity, NCSA. And it's basically like a kind of an expense, not really expensive, but like a couple $100. Actually, no, pretty expensive thing where you go and you go do stuff with cadets from all around the country, and you do stuff. And this entire class was a class about plugging. They were just basically advertising this National Cadet Special Activity called MARC,
Oh,
and it like model airplane remote control or something. I don't know what it
it
stands
was
for.
just about flying remote
Yes,
control.
it was literally about like learning how to build model rock. Like it was I don't know. I think it might have been kind of fun, but I felt juked. Like, and also the class was so boring. Like they were just like, this is what you do at Mark. Now let's fly a drone around, and it was just boring. I don't know.
Hmm. I I've flown a plane, or not an actual plane. I've flown a remote control plane probably once or twice before,
Hmm.
and that's about my extent. Oh wait, I've been inside of a plane, but I've never flown a plane or like been in a. I've never taken a flight anywhere
Hmm.
because I went to this one like air museum, and one of the planes it was actually a Russian cargo plane.
Hmm.
You're able to go inside of it, and so I did. And
Oh, all right.
it's
That
pretty
sounds
cool.
pretty neat.
Yeah, but yeah, I've never taken a flight ever. I really want to though, but flying can be pretty expensive. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's uh, yeah. Ever like in my immediate family, everyone's flown on a plane except my brother and I. So
Okay.
it sucks a little bit, but I don't know. I think it'd be a lot of fun going on a flight. But I
Hmm.
mean, I'll probably be on a plane one of these days. I'll probably be able to fly. Insert Learn to Fly by the Foo Fighters here.
Learn to fly.
Just kidding, that's copyright.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't know, I think it'd be a lot of fun. I mean,
hmm.
I've had airline peanuts though.
Airline? Did someone say airline peanuts?
Yes. I did, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And pretzels. I've had airline pretzels.
Oh my. I mean, it's pretty good. Like airline pretzels. I don't know. Airline food is not.
How about that airline food? It's not too bad.
It's not crystal clear.
uh, yeah. Um,
Uh-huh.
it's kind of funny. Like all the trips I've gone on, I've driven. So they've
Mm-hmm.
always been long road trips. Like I also haven't really been to too many places.
Yeah, I've never been out of the country, and I really want to go out of the country.
I've only been in, not including where we live, I've only been in 3 states. Driven through 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And only stayed in one other state.
Really? You've never really?
Mm-hmm.
So you've only stayed in one other state.
Yeah, but I've driven through 2 to get to that state.
Wow, that's wow.
Yeah, and heck, I've only been to like I've only been to Southern California once.
Oh yeah, to go to Disneyland.
Wait, no, twice.
Oh.
One was not going to Disneyland. One was staying in like Ventura,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of going there and hanging out. And then we went to Santa Barbara to watch fireworks on the beach. That was really
Mm-hmm.
cool. And then the other time is I went to Disneyland. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've been to San Francisco a few times, and I've been to Monterey a few times as well.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm not very.
Monterey is pretty
Oh,
great.
I like Monterey. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I went to Idaho, and that was it. I've driven through Nevada and Oregon. That's about it. I'm not very well traveled.
Nope.
Which, I don't know. I feel like I haven't had many opportunities. Or maybe I have and I just didn't take them. I don't know. Well, I
Tommy
mean, just
sorry.
leave. Just start walking.
Just
These shoes were
yeah,
meant for walking.
just get out of here, Tommy. Get to a new plane of existence.
Ascend to my planar form.
Yep. Walla 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 walla.
That freaking meme. Speaking of memes, should we tell the viewers and listeners at home
About the meme archive.
the meme archive?
Shh. Only be spoken.
Oh, should we create a bunch of fake operation names to fool everyone else?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do what the Allies did in World War II.
Operation Mincemeat.
Operation Fortitude. We're going that route,
Mm-hmm.
man. Because
It's
there's another
yeah.
operation called Operation Fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read a whole lot about it, but it's the plans were pretty much saying that, hey, we're invading southern France, so you should put all your defenses there.
Mm-hmm. Operation Mincemeat.
Operation that was so cool.
Yeah, it was a really, really crazy.
Yeah, like they literally made a fake person,
Yep.
but used an actual dead body of this like homeless dude.
It's a no, it wasn't a homeless dude. It was like a I don't actually remember.
I think it was like he wasn't like fully homeless,
I don't
but
know if he
like
was homeless at all.
but they used like the body of like some deceased dude who didn't really have any family.
Yeah,
And,
it was a pretty cool. Like
yeah.
I mean, it was neat.
Yeah, and Ian Fleming was a big part of that.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah, he was.
Apparently, Ian Fleming was like a total baller.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, he was. I'm sure he was.
like it's kind of funny. Like I remember, I think one of my friends said something about like Ian Fleming. He wrote James Bond because that's how he wanted to think of himself. But apparently, he was actually a baller.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. I haven't read any of the James Bond books, but I think it'd be pretty cool.
Hmm.
One of the many books that I need to read, but I'm a slow reader, so I'll get to them in a lifetime or two.
Hmm. He's yeah. They're
unless
I've got
unless
books
I
to
like I don't know, unless I like am stranded and like my legs are amputated
read. Hmm.
or like for some reason I can't use a computer anymore and my legs are amputated.
Hmm.
Now, the reason why I say my legs are amputated because I'm not saying you have to be an amputee to read books all day. It's because, well, if my computer's dead, then I do maybe a lot more dancing than I already do. But maybe,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would dance a lot.
I think I would do a lot more math or just primitive stuff. Maybe reading if my computer was dead.
Yeah. Well, if my computer was dead, I'd probably use insurance money to build a new one.
Hmm.
Cause insurance, yo. Well,
Insurance.
it depends on how it gets destroyed. Because if it
Hmm.
gets destroyed in like something like a house fire, for example, or damage to your house, then you can file like an insurance claim and then get money to replace it.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, if you spill water all over your own computer, then that's your fault.
Yeah, you're dumbass.
Yeah, and then you should hopefully have warranties on all the parts because if I remember correctly, like most computer parts have at least a 1 year warranty.
Just
Well,
get a new one.
depending on where you buy it. So,
Yeah, like just get it from a good reputable supplier.
like Amazon or Newegg.
Hmm.
Those are pretty much where I always get computer parts. I haven't really looked at Tiger Direct, and
Hmm.
to be honest, I don't really care too much for trying them.
Hmm.
Um, maybe they're good. I don't know, but I like Newegg and Amazon because they're nice. Or
I
like,
I'm
or going to in store to buy them. That's sometimes the best option because you don't need to wait. But I mean, um, deals probably aren't as frequent.
hmm
Like deals like they have on Amazon and Newegg.
Tommy. Oh no, never mind.
Oh, okay.
Oh
I
yeah,
see how it is.
never mind, bitch.
Oh,
This is the edition of the podcast where there's a lot more swearing.
because
You
Harrison's
know,
just hyped up, dude.
I'm hyped up. I've really got to take a crap.
Oh
You
man.
know. By the way, at CPC, I took a crap so dense and massive. Okay, I've got one more CPC story to share.
Oh,
So during CPC, I didn't take a crap for 2 days.
oh my.
Um,
Whoa.
I took a couple, like basically, I didn't take a crap for 2 days, and on the third day, the night before we left, I basically I really had to take a crap, and this was during the banquet, the dance. So I excused myself from the table during dinner,
You're like, oh,
and I went.
excuse myself.
Excuse me, and then I went to go take a crap. Now there were porta potties set up
I have
because
to
we
go
were
and
having.
powder my nose, as the women folks say.
I have to go wash my hair. um, Basically, uh, did I tell you about that?
No, you haven't told me about
Oh, okay,
this.
okay. So in the 1920s, it was a common excuse for women to get out of a date to say that they had to wash their hair. But like, if I was a woman in the 1920s and I didn't want to be, I don't like this guy. I'm just gonna go say I have to wash my hair.
Oh,
Get
really?
out of there. Yeah.
Did people pick up on this or?
I don't know.
It's like they're out in a restaurant. Oh, I need to go wash my hair. What?
Pretty much. Um,
Huh.
Now basically, I went to go take a crap, and there were porta potties set up because we were having this banquet in a this thing in like a gym.
Hmm.
Um, Now I went in. Now these were like luxury porta potties. They had like real toilets. They
Well,
weren't
what?
like the porta johns that you find at the fair. No, these were like luxury porta potties. They had a sink. It was basically an airplane bathroom.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty. Having only traveled 2 states, Tommy, have you ever flown on an airplane?
I went on a spiel about how I have never flown on an airplane.
Okay, and it's kind of lame. You just sit in a chair for 8 hours.
Or like an
Um,
hour and a half, depending on where. Because my
yeah.
sister's flown home a few times,
All right.
and that's not very far. Like it's only like an hour to two. It's like an hour and a half to 2 hours flight.
Yeah. It's just yeah.
I still think it'd be fun. But anyways, continue.
Yeah. So I went to go take a crap, um, and I was like, "Ooh, boy, this one's gonna be big." Whew, whew. And I basically like it fell out of me pretty quickly,
Oh
and it
wow.
was pretty painful. But it was basically like like the thickness of my forearm, um,
Ew.
and it was like tapered at the end. It was a big crap.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
it was just big and it was dense. Now,
Oh.
in a lot of like camper bathrooms and trailer bathrooms, camping trailer bathrooms, there are like there's a little hatch that goes from the bowl of the toilet to like the tank,
Mm-hmm.
the septic tank, and there's one of these. So it was basically you'd push down this little like pedal, and the hatch would open and your excrement would fall through into the into the thing
Septic tank or
into the
whatever.
septic tank. Now into the septic tank. Now I opened the tank, no dice. The crap, the turd was straddled across the hole,
Oh.
so thick and so dense that there was nothing to be done but to wad up. This is pretty disgusting, but I had to wad up a little piece of toilet paper and push it through.
Oh my.
It was horrifying.
Oh
Like
my.
basically made a little toilet paper glove and pushed it through.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was terrible.
Oh, I'm cringing just. Oh, that's disgusting.
Hmm.
I hope you washed your hands like twice.
It was. I did. I basically bleached my hands. It was kind of horrifying, but it was really funny. Basically, what happened was it got halfway through, and then I like let my foot off the pedal, and it got sliced in half,
Oh
and like
my.
half of it fell through, and half of it was stuck on the hatch. So I just opened it, and it fell through.
Mm,
Mm. It was pretty hilarious.
wow. Well,
It was really funny.
that's about all the time we have for tonight, folks.
Sorry, folks. Get the hell out of our cave.
And make sure to be well traveled and share with all your friends how you took the biggest dump of your life.
Mm-hmm. And how I touched it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How he touched it with his bare hands. Just kidding. Harrison is not a bear, last time I checked.
Mm-hmm. It was. I'm not a bear.
Alright, well, we'll see you next week. Or whenever.
Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, get the hell out of our cave.